Alright, Talladega time. We all love Talladega. I just raised my steering ratio. The offset you can keep the same and the brake bias doesn't matter, but I raised it for the race so that you can stop and not spin out when you're on the brakes. Steering ratio the same on super speedways usually. So I'm going to roll off a pit road really light, try not to put any heat in the tires at all. You can do that by leaving pit road in third or fourth gear or just being really easy on the throttle. Then you make your way up to that 101-ish miles an hour. Has to be over 100. And then we're just not putting any heat in the tires if we can help it. So staying away from all the nasty bumps, staying away from going over certain like transitions, so like back and forth across the banking. We're going to hold this 100 miles an hour until we are halfway-ish down the straightaway. And for all of that, we get like 100th on our lap. It's great. So this is going to be a second lap hot lap, as you can probably tell. I think I can go pretty close to turn 3 and still have it be up to speed for a second lap. I'll go now. Doesn't really matter where you're at on the track until you get into that turn 3 and 4 on your first of 2 laps. Realistically, you can probably hold that 101 miles an hour a little bit longer at Talladega since the start finish line is all the way at the end. But it doesn't really matter at a certain point. The differences are so minute. It's just a lot better to do that than it is to like burn it down coming out of pit road, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter where you are here, just try not to do anything that slides your tires, scrub speed. You don't want to add any heat into this. And then I'm going to have one trick for you guys that you might not have seen before. So this will make it all worth it, right? So don't go close to the wall. You'll get wall arrow there. We're going to keep our lefts kind of on the seam here. Maybe a little bit lower. It doesn't really matter too much. And once we get about halfway through the corner, so about like right here, we're going to turn down the hill. Try to keep as little wheel in as possible. Then we straighten out the wheel really early. And when we straighten out the wheel really early, that allows us to build up more speed very, very slightly, because the truck goes faster when the steering wheel is completely straight. But now it's just an execution test. So now we're going to go right next to the yellow line, enter right by the yellow line, stay as close to the yellow line as possible, keep the wheel as smooth as possible. So I'm just going to try to hold my wheel at one single angle. If you have a hard time doing that with a higher force feedback, feel free to lower it. Then we let the car slide up about a lane. I probably could have straightened the wheel like a tiny bit earlier there, but that's okay. We're going to bring ourselves back down to the yellow line here. Right on the yellow line. Once the car starts coming up the track on its own, we let it happen for about a lane, then we straighten out the wheel. This time we got to get the car back down. I don't like using the apron here because of where the start finish line is located, so we're just going to ride around the yellow line as well here. And that is more or less how we do it. Alright, I mean, there's not much to talk about here. I guess in the Xfinity video I talked about how runs are kind of hard to come by, so you want to start out in the front and control the race. The runs are a little bit easier in the trucks, so you can kind of do that. But the thing that I will say is that if you're a good bump drafter, people will notice that and they will want to work with you. If you just stay in the back and nobody knows if you're a good bump drafter or you're a bad bump drafter and almost wreck people, people will hang you out as soon as possible. Like, I don't mean to victim blame here, but if you're getting hung out to dry a lot in races at Talladega, it's probably your fault, I'm not going to lie. Like, somebody who is really good at pushing, they will always be there at the end because people want to use those people to get up to the front. If someone thinks that you're not going to get them up to the front, then they'll just leave you out to dry. So that's kind of something that I think a lot of people don't realize about super speedway racing. How it's all kind of proving yourself to your lobby. Or you can just be a YouTuber who everyone wants to work with. That's the other option that you have. So let me know which one works best for you. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope to see you all on the track.